Hey, what's up everyone? We are back. I'm Aaron.
I'm James.
And this is Crash Course. We are here today at Tundra Rescue and we are going to highlight this super awesome job and business to give you a little inside look at what they do. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I think they've got some pretty cool stuff for us to try today. Let's go. So a little bit about Tundra Rescue. We're just outside of Stayner, Ontario at the ranch is what they call it. And Tundra Rescue does high rope rescue and confined space rescue. So they're gonna put James and I to work and show us a little bit about what they do. So we're gonna meet Isai and Ronnie in just a few minutes.
So hey guys, this is Ronnie with Tundra Rescue, and we're just going to talk about what it is they do. So yeah, actually, Ronnie, why don't you tell us a little bit about your job, what it entails?
So the job is industrial rope access, and what we do is use climbing equipment, ropes, etc. to access work sites. For example, confined spaces, wind turbines, oil rigs, buildings, those kind of things.
Nice. So how long have you been doing this kind of work?
So I've done this since the end of 2005, so it's been a while now.
Like, how did you get into this line of work? What kind of like education or training did you have to do?
Now, how it started was basically it's a 1-week training course, and I was tested at the end of the week. And if you pass the test, then you can start looking for the work. And so it was relatively easy to get into.
So we could do this like starting in 2 weeks. Aaron and I could start doing our own rescue training.
So absolutely, you could. There's 3 levels to the structure that we work within. Level 1 is essentially a trainee, level 2 an operator on the ropes, and level 3 is a supervisor level. So you can begin level 1 with a week's training, and then you're like a year, and you have to get experience to then progress to the next levels.
That's cool. We should do it.
All right, so I'm here with Isai. Isai, how long have you been doing rope access in confined space?
Well, I started working with Tundra in June. I just recently came from the Dominican Republic, and Brent offered me to work here with Tundra Rescue, and I started working first in the ranch and maintaining the gear in the gear room for the rope access work, and then I get trained in the Sprout level 1 and in confined space too. So I've been working for Tundra since June.
So that's about 3 months. So how was the training? Like Ronnie said he did his training like 15 years ago. How was the training for you?
It was pretty nice. It was really hard training. You need to really focus on what you're doing to be able to do it right and pass the test. But I enjoy every step that we did during the rope access training. Yeah, it was awesome.
What's the one thing that you take away from the training? Although the training goes in depth, what's the one thing that you always have to remember while doing rope access?
The only thing that I have to remember?
The one thing, the most important thing. Is there one most important thing that you remember from training?
From training, the most important thing when you're doing rope access is to be able to be safe doing what you're doing. You need to always have 2 points of contact, make sure that your point is over your shoulder, and just take care of yourself.
So safety is very important in this job.
The most important in this job is about safety.
Right.
So we're about to jump into action here. Ronnie, what's about to happen?
Okay, so I'm just going to show you a basic rope climb, and then I'll descend down the rope again.
Okay.
And so just to quickly talk about, I'm wearing the full body harness to keep me safe, obviously. It's attached to this rope, the white rope, with my climbing equipment. And then I have a second rope entirely separate system. If something were to happen to this, for example, on a job, then I have a separate rope that would catch me, that keeps me safe. So we always have 2 points of contact so that we stay safe.
Safety is key.
This looks like a fun job. Like you get to climb stuff all day. It'd be great. It's like a big jungle gym in here.
If you're very much afraid of heights, this is probably not the job for you. However, if you want to challenge yourself and overcome your fear of heights, this may be the job for you.
This would probably be a good time to ask about the gear that you're about to strap on me.
Okay, so the gear. Most of the gear was designed based on the climbing equipment that you'll have probably seen on television or if you've done some climbing yourself. However, it's designed kind of over-engineered, so it's much more safe. So if we're using it in an industrial setting, it's much more forgiving on us.
Cool. All right.
Look what you've got there. On the white rope, this is your climbing rope, and the red one is your safety line, your backup. So what I want you to do is grip this one and slide it up. 1 second.
I'll get my foot up there now.
All right. So when you lift that leg up, you're actually going to swing towards Aaron there. So most likely. So
You can hold the hennas and the carabiner up.
this tracks up and down. Oh my God.
You can let go to it.
Okay. That's the part I don't want to let go.
If you were
Okay.
in the unlikely event you were to fall, this
Yeah.
jams and catches you.
Yep.
And so you can move it up. Now, like earlier on, you're going to take this rope below you,
Yeah.
and with your right hand above you, you're going to, yep, and then we're going up. Nice, excellent, James. And then push the back up as well. And it's just
Okay, so here's the one thing that I've noticed in this whole James learning something is that Ronnie is super comfortable in his element, and James is like a deer in the headlights.
What's difficult about this job? Some jobs are very difficult, very challenging. You're working outside a lot of the time, so the weather can add challenges. Sometimes wind, rain, snow and ice it's not unheard of for your carabiners to freeze, for ropes to freeze a little, for example, in the winter. In the summer, the weather is a challenge because it's very hot and you're often in exposed locations, and dehydration becomes a challenge. Aside from that, the technical side of it can be difficult to climb in different structures depending where you are. But for a lot of people, that's one of the attractions to this kind of work. It's the challenge.
And what is difficult about, so what you've done so far, James, what has been difficult?
Yeah, I don't know. There's just a lot of pieces to this, right? And so trying to keep the steps in order and all of the, like your body has to move with it too, right? And so figuring out how to move your body with what piece of equipment at what time was kind of, that was a learning curve for sure.
And then you said that a lot of that stuff it just comes naturally the more that you practice.
Yep. The more you practice, the more better you get. That's right.
All right, so one of the things you might not know is Isai here is a Christian. And so we wanted to ask Isai, like, how does your faith play a part into this job?
Well, I'm pretty new doing this job too, but when you're up there in the ropes, climbing up, even if you're safe and you know what you're doing and you have the right equipment to do the job, you're putting your life at risk sometimes when you're up there. So you need to be trustful and trust God that you're gonna be safe in there, and trust yourself too. So trust in God and all the time, and He's gonna keep you safe.
Bring it over to you. Okay, ready? Go.
So Ronnie, same question for you. How does your faith come into play in the workplace?
Okay, so my faith in the workplace, I think for me there's two aspects that come into play. There's overcoming. So often we can end up in situations which are, maybe it's very high or you're very exposed and you don't feel very safe. And so overcoming the fear is certainly something that we get taught from Jesus in the Bible. The other thing is faith. So faith in the equipment and faith in our own abilities. We're highly trained. The equipment is very safe. If we use it properly, we take a high risk situation and make it very low risk, and so it becomes very safe. I have faith in the equipment and I have faith in myself, but as a Christian, I also have faith in the Lord, and that gives me strength in times when otherwise I might feel weak.
I'm looking at this, there's a picture here in the background, someone hanging from a wind turbine, and it's reminding me of, I do a lot of cycling, right? Totally unrelated, but kind of related to this picture, because I find when I'm out cycling in nature, you know, it's a solitary thing, and you know, solitude is a spiritual discipline, in fact, and I find when I'm in situations in nature by myself, I kind of experience God in that moment, and this picture is almost like it's reminding me of that, right? Do you have moments where you just feel like you're in the presence of God in the workplace?
Yeah, absolutely. I do, certainly, for sure. I think when we're working specifically like manual tasks out in nature, when your mind, when your body is occupied with the task at hand, and yet you're surrounded by this beautiful natural landscape, and you're free to think about other things, like maybe God give you direction in that moment, for example.
Anything to add?
Anything to add? No, it's just wonderful to see the creation that God have made, the world that you have the opportunity to live in. When you are up there in the wind turbines or doing height work, you are able to see all that beauty, every beautiness of the Lord, everything that God has created. It's awesome.
Well, for James and Aaron, I'm Aaron.
I'm James.
We have been having such an awesome time at Tundra Rescue with Isai and Ronnie. Thank you so much, guys, for sharing your job, your passion, your faith with us. It's been totally awesome.
That was a lot of fun.
See you next time. For James and Aaron.